Well, here we are with Eric Foss. Um, it was supposed to be the first film seen at the Whitefire Theater in Sherman Oaks. If we'd been live, I always love to start the festival with the funniest films we've got,
Oh,
and
thanks.
How to Save a Marriage is definitely one of the funniest films we've got.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. That's very kind of you.
and the funny thing is, I can do this most of the Q and A's we're doing. We're pre-recording the Q and A because of coronavirus. But most of them I watch again. But I've watched yours so many times because, like, I saw it as part of the jury, and then I had to show it to my girlfriend. I had to be like, she's like practically a wife. We're like long-term
Sure.
living in sin. So I was like, you got to see this, and I think yours is one of the ones I've shown to the most people who stop by because I'm like,
Oh, wow.
this is a solidly funny, well-made short film, my friend.
Thank you. That really means a lot to me.
Yeah. And I guess the standard festival question, if we were sitting on stage together, would be obviously. I believe you have a background. You did the whole film school thing and all that.
Yeah.
Are you also focused on comedy? Because this when you first see this film, it has the vibe that of like a sketch that's been done on stage, and that you
Okay.
decided to shoot. And then you said, you know what, this sketch is working so well. Let's lock it down. Although I assume you
I
probably just
I
like a film and wrote it.
I generally do focus on comedy, although I think this is definitely the most like slapstick kind of like big sort of um like big humor. I don't know if that's the right word, but like
That is
how
actually the right word. I mean, everyone who sees this Q&A will have watched the film,
okay.
and when he's struggling to save his life getting out of that restroom at home,
Yeah, right, right,
that's
right.
big.
It's
That's
just
big comedy.
right. It's just like big things are happening. It's the most usually my comedy tends to be more nuanced and darker actually. I just got off the phone with a writing partner of mine, and the thing I'm writing right now it's a comedy called Aliens Eat People, and is pretty fucking dark. It has a lot of people dying all the time. And so, I mean, that's just like, I don't know. But this one, yeah, it was like sort of off brand for me, I guess. And it came together very well. And the whole conceit behind it for me was um, a I wanted to practice a uh two people like directing two people in love. That was important for me to like get that down and like learn that well. The other thing was I wanted to direct a sex scene because I'd never done that before, and I wasn't sure if like I'd be able to do that effectively. I wanted them to learn. And then the third thing is I wanted it to be as funny as possible. I wanted that to be the hook that like brings people in.
Right. So you kind of wrote this almost like a training exercise.
Totally. Oh yeah, and that's actually I think that's an interesting story because um, I I failed really big on a film right out of film school, and it kind of like stunted me where I like didn't want to fail again. I was afraid of failure, so I didn't really actually haven't I hadn't directed anything outside of music videos for like 6 years between my last film and this film.
Really?
Uh,
So right out of film school, you shot. I believe we discussed it at the Mixer for the
uh
festival, the online. So you made a 35-minute musical, something
right.
like that.
Yeah, and it was like 17 locations and like 20 something actors. It was like really it was the size of a feature. Like now looking back on it, I was totally like oblivious to what I was doing.
Right. So you
Um,
just put your hands up and said, "I'm out. And you
yeah.
just directed music videos where
Hmm.
you sort of have a client, I assume.
And I was working as a DP as well in reality TV, to make money. And and then I realized like I missed it, so I kind of came back to it. So this is like what I realized, I was like, I'm really rusty. For 2 years, so like 2018, I started writing with some people, and I was like shaking the rest off. I was like, this is
Right. So
like,
you weren't even writing during those 6 years?
no, like I was not doing anything. I was like, so I felt so rusty. So I started writing again, and I got really productive, and I wrote like 30 things, and I came up with like 250 ideas, which I have a list of. And then that was the thing. I was like, I can make this. Like, this is cheap. This is one location, two actors. Let's do this. And it wasn't. I don't think it's the best idea on that list, but it was like the most producible for sure. And I was like, this is going to be an exercise, like you said. Like, this is going to be like a film school exercise. This is great. We'll just like get this done real quick, and I'll learn stuff, and that's important to me. Uh, and then someone called me out when I told them that, and they're like, dude, if you are looking at this as an exercise, you're not going to learn as much as you are hoping you're going to learn, because you're not putting all of yourself into it. And I thought that was really smart. So then I was like, okay, now this is going to be a emotional investment for me now, and I'm going to like fully put myself in.
And
And
that
that's
was
what
at the
happened.
writing stage, or is that when you decided you were gonna? That's
It was
like
actually
like
it was
mental
actually
pre-production.
it was while I was casting, and casting was a journey. It was really hard to cast this film for me, anyways. And I was talking to my good friend Andy Dillman, who's a commercial director, and he was helping me cast. And he was like, yeah, he was basically like, dude, take it more seriously. You want to, if you want to learn, then like emotionally invest yourself. Because I was just kind of like, whatever, it doesn't matter. And he's like, yeah, it does.
For sure. And I mean, this is a performance piece.
Uh-huh.
This is your, yeah, if you, so was casting difficult because you needed people who could do the laughs and do the love?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's hard. It's really, and I think what I focused on, I felt like there was enough funny in the script that like I could just make it really, but yeah, no, that's absolutely what it was. I need a dramedy actor, and that's not really easy to usually that, like, our industry brands people, and we pigeonhole people, and we're like, okay, stick to this, you're good at this. And so some people would come in during, like, 500 people applied to these roles, and I'm like, Jesus, like, okay, I'm gonna, like, it was like 2.5 weeks of my life is like going through things, and the auditioning process and all this stuff. And uh some people would audition like in a more comedic way, and some people would audition more dramatic way, and I gravitated towards the dramatic. But still, I'd filmed all of them. We did like four, I think I auditioned like 45 people or something, and I narrowed each role down to two. I sent it to a trusted friend of mine, and he was like, I like this female, which is Catherine, who's in it. And which is funny because I was going to choose the other girl. And he's like, no, 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 you choose Catherine. She's good. And then, he was like, I don't think I don't think either of these guys fit the role. And I was like, that's not what I wanted to hear. Like, I've just gone through so much
You can curse.
pain. Huh?
You can curse if you want to say shit.
Yeah, through shit. Like, so much like time and energy went into this to find it, the role of Mark. And then he gave me a list of people he thought would be good, but they were all like, I mean, I haven't worked with actors since 2010, outside of music videos. And so I was like, these guys aren't going to want to, like, I have nothing to be like, hey, I can make a film, like, check this out, and like be in my movie. It's like I'm paying them like $100 a day, like, which is so low. Can't afford to pay someone a lot, and I don't have a resume. And he was like, well, here's a list. So I'm like, and then I was like, I can't email any of these. He's like, dude, just email them. Well, what's the worst that's gonna happen? They'll say no.
Yeah, the truth is actors like to act.
Right. And then, yeah, totally. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just in my own head, like, panicking. So first guy, I watched all the reels, and then I saw Chris Mollica, who ended up taking the role, and I emailed him. I was like, hey, dude, I like I did the new director apology thing where you like apologize first. You're like,
Sorry to
sorry,
offer you a role.
right? Yeah, yeah. Sorry, like I'm like a little fish and blah blah blah, like just kind of like self-deprecating. And then he was like, no worries, man. Like, send me the script. I sent him the script, and he's like, I love it. I want to do it. I'm like, what? And he was awesome.
He was great. And I was going to say, through your casting process, Catherine is perfect
She's so
because
good.
because she's doing the comedy that's small. She's doing the,
Totally.
she reads the card, and like just her not big expression of like, yeah, I can be that's bad. Like
Totally.
those are big laughs, and she's playing it she's playing the straight man, as
Yeah,
we used to
totally.
call it. She's the straight person, will be gender neutral. And that's harder to find someone who can be funny when they're not trying to be.
So I have a good story about Catherine. Uh, she that kind of illustrates this. She's a very social person, and so like while we were on set, it was like the second I said cut, it was like Catherine just keeps going, and she's just talking, and she's like, which is great. I like people to hang out and have fun, and Catherine like kept morale really positive. So like while she's like making people happy, I'm like figuring shit out with my AD. And uh we were coming up to the most dramatic scene, like this point where she like has completely given up and just like lost all hope, and she sits down on the bed, and she says her line, by the way, she just came up with it, improvised, which is uh it's broken. And which is like, I think, the most succinct, one of the best lines in the film. And anyway, so we're coming up to that scene, and which is probably one of the hardest scenes. And I'm like, as I'm talking to the AD, I'm like, wait, what's different about right now? And I look at the monitor, and Catherine is just like, just staring straight ahead, like obviously preparing for this scene. And I was like, I like looked over at my DP Mac, and I'm like, we kind of caught eyes, and he's like, yeah, I'm waiting for you to fucking notice, like obviously, like that's why I put the camera where it is. And I like pointed to the monitor, the AD's like, yeah. And then I just like whispered to our sound guy to roll, and Mac was already rolling on camera. And then I was just like, whenever you're ready, Catherine. And everybody just shut up, and she nailed that scene first take. She just like, what you see is the first take. We did one more for safety, but I didn't use any of it. It was just so perfect. And that's just like, it just, so there's so much nuance, and there's so much like vulnerability and pain in this like 30-second moment that she has, where she like, I really believe that she just wants everything to stop, and she just wants to like go off and be alone and like not have anything to do with her husband anymore.
Yeah, and you needed that moment because
Totally.
because we you because you tell the story so efficiently. It's not like we see what led them to this point.
Right, totally. Yeah, we jump in the middle.
Yeah, you jump in the middle, and so the whole time you're like, is this just a fun thing, or is this? But that's the moment where like, yeah, that brings it home, and probably makes the later laugh even better because we had a break from the gags.
Right, totally. And I think that what's like the biggest compliment there is like that I couldn't have I couldn't have directed that scene, that how she did it, like it didn't matter what I said afterwards, like that was how it needed to be, and that was the best. Like she directed herself there, like she made that happen, and it was just amazing. Like I think I feel really lucky to have had her there, and yeah, I think she did. I mean, both of them did an amazing job. I mean, we have Chris fucking doing flips into a tub Like we did 3 takes of him jumping into a tub. And like all I did was throw a Fernie pad in it. Like
Yeah, and
he
you can tell he's a tall guy too, so yeah, he probably had to be a little careful not to bang his head on anything.
I think he probably did bang his head. Like it was I think that rail, the shower rail hit him a few times, and he was just a trooper. And
Yeah,
the amazing thing that Chris did was he held Catherine for me, which that was like a big thing I learned from him. It's like Catherine's like they're in both in this vulnerable place, and I just like feel I was like so spread thin, or I felt so spread thin. I didn't have like the knowledge yet as a director to like know how to manage the stress or whatever was going on, and also like be there with my actors and like give them the attention they needed.
right.
And
Because
Chris did that.
you were focused on some technical things too.
Right.
Well, here, let me make it feel more like a Q&A. Here's some questions from jury members that they wrote right after watching it. So this is sort of a fresh, hey, I just saw your film, now I'm putting my hand up at the theater.
Yeah.
This one comes from one of our jury members who lives in Montreal, and it says, were any of the pet peeves related to anything you experienced in real life?
It's a good question. Absolutely every single one of them.
Everything.
Yep. Every one
Okay.
of those is based on a real life experience. I don't know how to write it. I don't know how to make things up usually. Usually something is like based on something else. For sure. It was mostly one. Well, I wrote this like right after a relationship had ended. So it was mostly based on that relationship. And it was like in a nostalgic way that I was writing this, like where like the little pet peeves were also kind of like you. I mean, that's how it ends. Is like, I love you like for your faults or whatever. Like, I love your annoying habits too, is what the line is. And yeah, like there's little things you're like in the moment you're like that's annoying, but it's kind of like what like makes somebody human is that they're not perfect, and you just have to love them for those things too, and that's what makes a real relationship real.
For sure. And then the other one, and this is from a female filmmaker who lives here in Sherman Oaks. She wrote, I love the physical comedy. And you kind of got to this. Were there any challenges or fun outtakes while you were filming those?
Um,
But you kind of
yeah,
covered
I
falling
mean,
into the tub.
yeah, the tub thing was a real thing. Like I kind of was like trying to push him to like it was the third take we used. The first two, he just kind of like rolls into the tub. The third one, he like jumped in there, and then right when I said cut, he was like, "That's the last one." I was like, "Definitely the last one." Like, I don't want you to get hurt. It was like that thing that we do is like, no, don't hurt yourself, but like, I want you to jump in the tub. It's like it's kind of like I don't know. It's like this weird thing that we do as filmmakers where we're like, I don't want anyone to get hurt. I just want you to do this impossible thing without getting hurt. So do that, okay?
The
And
moment I'm not exaggerating, when I watched it, it always kind of reminded me of Dumb and Dumber, Jeff Daniels on the toilet, because I always heard after he'd been given massive amounts of X-Lax by his brother, because I always heard that his fake straining went so far that he passed out.
no way.
Yeah, supposedly like him pretending to crap his brains out, he
Oh
like
my God.
he like almost fainted from that performance. And
Whoa.
it's a funny over the top moment, and you got some potty humor in there, and
That's
it's
for sure.
hilarious. And your lead actor Chris did a great job with it.
I think I think the biggest challenge for me though during those physical humor scenes is is getting your actors to trust you that it's funny. There's like a weird thing that happens with physical humor where like in the moment it like actually feels dangerous or feels like or just feels like mean and it doesn't feel funny. It just feels like chaotic, and like in the moment that's yet not usually funny, but on screen it's funny. And like for example, uh the spit take scene of the spaghetti, that
Yes.
was nobody was laughing. Like everybody was like after we cut, it was like everybody was like running to help clean Catherine up. It was like, it's not like he was spitting at her, we were like throwing food at her, but it was still like mean, right? And she was getting hit in the face with food, like for real. So it wasn't funny, but it's really funny on screen.
It is,
And
and I think you are pointing out that's, it's a bit of a trope to say that comedy is harder than drama, but on the set, for sure,
yeah,
when a dramatic moment is working, you know it. But
right, totally,
comedy is always about the timing in the edit,
totally.
and yeah, for people to know it's funny while they're doing it on set, they have no idea how you're cutting from him to the splat right into her face. They're seeing everything.
Totally.
Yeah,
Right.
so yeah, that's why comedy is so hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah. The editing process was that definitely. I'm glad that I've edited some. I've done a lot of editing, so that helped with that timing thing of like on set, knowing how it was going to cut. And maybe that's what gave the actors confidence, because like it's when someone's like cut, like where, yeah, that's it, we definitely got it, it's like, okay, well, he seems confident, but like I really am confident when I would say cut, like because I know I'm like, that piece on take one and that piece on take three, and I'm just gonna slap those together, and that's perfect.
Right, you're
Those are
already
the two.
compiling in your head.
It's, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
and actually even when I'm starting to cut, like I already know what takes on the scenes I'm most concerned about. I already know what takes. I had no script yet. I was just like, I knew which one. Plus we had no time, so we only did like 3 or 4 takes of each thing. But
I was going to say, so to wrap up, because we're going a little long here, but to wrap up, the standard, whenever we're in the theater, one of your fellow filmmakers who's sitting there always raises their hand and goes, "How long was your shoot?" And, you know,
two
so
two
how long was your
days,
shoot? And how long
two
did you
two day
edit?
shoot, almost a year, I think.
Really?
And that's because the way my life works is uh I I make money shooting in reality TV, and then when I get home, I get like a long break. Like I work like fucking 24/7, or 24, like 12 hours, 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. But I'm on location, so on my day off, I just lay there and try not to die. But the um the breaks I get, the payoff for that is like I get a long period of time to do whatever I want, so that I make a film. And uh so yeah, while I was working, I was trying to edit, and that's why it took so long.
Cool. All right. Well, I've got to run. I think I got somebody coming on here in 5 minutes. So
Cool,
it's just
thanks,
like we're in
Jeff.
the theater and it's time to turn down the lights and show the next film.
Right on.
But thanks a lot. Thanks, Eric. It was a great film. A lot
Thank
of
you.
fun. I'm glad you had a good time making it.
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
glad it got you back on the horse.
Totally. Yeah, and I'm full on now. I have like 2 other films happening right now, so you'll be getting more submissions.
Love to hear that. All right. Thanks so
All right,
much.
thanks, Jeff. Bye.